for those of you who don't know, Microsoft just acquired Blizzard Activision for $69 billion.
Pause for, wait a second, hold on. Okay. So I saw the headline and then I had to go back and, because $69 billion is so much money. I'm trying to like put this into scale with like other existing companies that you could buy for $69 billion. Let me just look up real quick.
That's a good.
Let me just look up real quick what Microsoft could have bought. So,
I mean,
right
MKBHD is worth more than $69 billion.
Of course,
obviously.
Of course. But just to look up a quick, like, let's say Microsoft wanted to make a car, GM's market cap is $83 billion right now. Ford's market cap is $90 billion. So if you just wanted to like quickly spin up a Microsoft car, they could have bought Ford. They have I think I checked yesterday, they have like $175 billion of free cash just to toss around, spend on things.
Surface Duo still sucks that bad.
Woof. They clearly have a priority in gaming, and we can talk about why they chose to buy this company in the past.
I want to talk about that very specifically later.
But that was just my last like fun fact was that Facebook bought Instagram for $1 billion back in 2012.
What a
$1 billion
steal.
It looked like a lot of money back then. Yeah. That was 1/69th of what Microsoft just paid for this company. So why are they so into buying Blizzard Activision?
Okay, so if you're not aware, Blizzard and Activision is arguably one of the top tier game developers just in the world right now. I'm sure I'm just going to name a couple of the games, like their biggest ones, and I bet you've heard of all of them.
Okay.
All right, we have Warcraft, StarCraft, Diablo, World of Warcraft.
Sure.
Call of Duty.
Yep.
And this one actually surprised me, but they own Candy Crush also. Which little irk here when you're listing from the official Xbox account.
It was made you so mad.
The games that you own. If you put Candy Crush in front of StarCraft, I'm going to lose my mind.
That was funny because Candy Crush is probably the most popular game that they own. Yep. And as far as like household, like when you see this on the 9 o'clock news where they're like, find out why Microsoft paid bazillions of dollars for this thing, they're probably going to say it's the owner of Candy Crush and maybe World of Warcraft, like the two most popular.
Call of Duty, yeah.
Call of Duty, yeah. But yeah, as far as like total gameplay time.
My irk with it is, yes, Candy Crush is obviously making them more money. StarCraft 2 came out 11 years ago. There's a lot to it, but StarCraft is like iconic. It is just completely iconic in the gaming industry. Esports I don't think is where it is today without StarCraft. It's like one of the first major watched esports out there.
Devil's advocate, is mobile gaming where it is today without Candy Crush? Like we had a couple big like segments. We had the Farmville era. You remember Farmville?
Yes.
Like that was like Facebook gaming basically.
Yeah.
And then we had like mobile puzzle gaming come up with Candy Crush. Everybody played Candy Crush. And now everyone's got some type of mobile game. We all just played Wordle last week. It's not that it came from Candy Crush, but mobile gaming spiked hard early. This is totally hypothetical. I don't actually know if this is true. But Candy Crush brought mobile games to the scene, and that is just as iconic as
I feel
StarCraft.
like steam is coming out of my ears right now. No, I don't disagree with you at all. If I had the opportunity right now to be given a game to make money off of, I would pick Candy Crush over StarCraft a billion times over if I cared about money, which
69.
obviously if you're spending that much money, you want something that makes it. But just like, oh man, it's not the purest tweet.
It's not the purest gaming headline you would have asked for.
No, it made me it made me salty. But okay, that's that. That's like the little tiny gripe that I had with it. I also wanted to point out, or I wanted to play a little game with you really quick because you said you've heard of StarCraft, right?
Yes.
You ever played it?
No.
Okay. It's like a top-down real-time strategy game.
I've seen people play it.
Okay. So like, you're just controlling a bunch of troops and everything. I just want to like real quick, little fun thing. I've posted a picture of the 3 races you can play in there, and I want you to pick which race you would want to play. So their names are Terran, Zerg, and Protoss. Blue is Terran, red is Zerg, gold is Protoss. And I just want you to, solely based off this picture, pick which race you think looks the coolest and you would want to play.
I'm going to go Zerg for a couple reasons. Number 1, it's in the middle, so it's clearly a primary character. Okay. Number 2, the one on the left and the right are both like sort of humanoid with armor, where the one in the middle, Zerg, is this sort of animal, which implies a little more strength, a little more power. It doesn't need as many artificial armor things.
The one on the right's more alien-like type.
Okay.
But yes, the left is human.
Yeah.
Terran is human.
I'm going with that dragon thing.
Zerg. I just honestly wanted you to do this because I feel like...
am I going to get roasted for picking that?
That's just the thing. It's not whichever you pick. You'll get
roasted. It's like a Pokemon.
Zerg is, from what I remember, and there might be balancing things, but like Zerg was generally the hardest to play because it was like the other ones are a little more overpowered for certain reasons. But I was terrible at StarCraft. So I did watch a lot of it. But anyways, I have kind of three main questions, concerns, things I want to talk about in terms of this acquisition.
Sure.
Number one, I hope Bobby Kotick, the CEO of Blizzard, gets fired immediately. I will let everybody do their own research on what's happened, but there is a lot of cover up on a lot of really terrible things. I think he's a terrible person. Adam, you can bleep this. F off, Bobby. He's going to get a payday out of this. And it makes me really mad, but I'm glad he'll just be out of it because I really, really like Blizzard and I really like the games that they make. And I don't want him to have any part of it. Okay, moving on. The next thing is there's a game, World of Warcraft, which is one of their bigger games in terms of Blizzard, has a monthly subscription base to it. And I'm really interested now with Microsoft Game Pass, which is a monthly subscription for games.
Right.
If things like World of Warcraft or even in the future that take monthly subscriptions with it will potentially be added in Game Pass.
Yeah.
I think this is super niche.
I could see that happening. I mean, right now, so we have Xbox, the Game Pass subscription service. We also have what, Sony's been trying to do with the PlayStation, and just generally like companies trying to make enticing packages for their gaming platforms. We're going to see a version of this for AR. I mean, how many developing studios is Facebook going to buy before we realize that's what they're building?
Right.
So yeah, I feel like that could easily happen and they could build it into Xbox Game Pass. The exclusivity part, though, would it be just in Game Pass, or would it be like the option to pay a subscription in Game Pass?
That's even a good point. So,
Not sure.
That's why I think this kind of comes down to, could this be, it'll also based on price of Game Pass plus price of subscription. I believe subscription is $14 a month. So it's like for one game that you already had to pay for.
Wow.
So like, it's not cheap. As a World of Warcraft player in the past, it blows. But like, I'm interested in that. I'm also just like, what I think is really cool about this and Game Pass is Game Pass, and I think they're calling it something else. They're really trying to focus on cross-platform, which makes so much sense for Microsoft because they're obviously Windows and they're obviously Xbox, and cross-platform ever since Fortnite really has just been absolutely blowing up. It's like what makes or breaks a game, I feel like recently in terms of multiplayer at least. And it makes such perfect sense for Microsoft to do this because a lot of these games are already cross-platform. Diablo, Overwatch. I don't know about StarCraft, but Call of Duty, like these are all games that are already very good at being on console and on PC. I don't know if all of them are specifically cross-platform, but this gives it the option. Yeah, so I think that's really, really cool.
You can play on the Surface Duo, theoretically.
Sure, you can with its cool
at 90 hertz. That's not bad.
No.
Yeah,
you kind of derailed me on that one. But going on to the third thing I kind of wanted to talk about here, you briefly mentioned is exclusivity. So we all know one of the reasons PlayStation is so good is because of all of its exclusive content,
games
right?
are just PlayStation only.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong, most of those are single player games, right? Like we have Spider-Man. Spider-Man's the main one I think of. But
Spider-Man, Miles Morales now is the latest one. There's still some stuff like the 2K franchise games, for example.
They're on everything, right? Are they?
No, they're on everything.
Okay.
But you kind of have to. It's kind of like iMessage. Like it works better if you have like the features with the PlayStation. It'll work better when you're playing with another person on a PlayStation. But yes, a lot of the games are Sony only.
So like if I want to make a big headline here, that probably won't happen. But like Call of Duty potentially being exclusive to Xbox and PC and taken off of PlayStation would be great. It would be a huge industry shakeup. You're talking about one of the biggest multiplayer games just because of like how it's played on so many consoles and how big it is, and so many people play on PlayStation that you would lose a big customer base, but the amount of people next gen console that are buying Xbox over PlayStation because of it, huge.
I think I could see them doing that with the long play with the next version.
Yeah.
Right? So like currently, Microsoft just bought, the entire company that includes Call of Duty, it's like, okay, so we're not going to take it away from the PlayStation 5, but best believe the next version of Call of Duty will come out before the next consoles. And so when you're going to buy that next console, that version of Call of Duty is going to be Xbox and PC only. So when you do come up to the next cycle of what console you're going to buy, now that's going to factor in. Because I don't think ripping it out of the store. I remember when Apple bought Dark Sky and it just got pulled from the Play Store.
You have a really good point there. Yeah. I don't think they rip it out. I honestly don't think they go exclusive either. But if we're talking about a scenario, the scenario right now is PlayStation was far more hyped than Xbox. It's still almost impossible to get. You can get Xboxes. They are still tough with supply chain stuff. But like, I think we can all agree the PlayStation 5 was way more hyped than the Xbox Series X. I don't even know the name exactly, but that's mostly because their naming sucks. So being able to pull something like Call of Duty as an enticing element to bring you onto Xbox is not a bad chip to have in your hand.
It's not out of the question. That's exclusives get played all the time in the console wars as like chips for these manufacturers to want you to pick one over the other. If you spent $69 billion on this game studio, I'd say you make some of those little exclusive to your platform and take advantage of that.
Yeah. I'm really interested to see what that is. And then I guess that kind of falls into my like last overall point here, which is obviously the main thing gamers in general should worry about with this is just like getting closer and closer to the monopolization of top tier gaming developers. I mean, Microsoft is already huge as it is, and now grabbing Blizzard Activision as like arguably being one of the biggest. It's scary. It's scary because of things like exclusivity and stuff like that, and the way they make games and all that. I think one really good thing about this is lately in the last 5 years, we've seen indie developers really make some like very, very, very popular games. I mean, you think Among Us, Fall Guys, PUBG, like those aren't coming from these top tier like AAA. I think that's it's considered AAA, right? Like, so we are seeing some other things where these little guys can kind of squeak out there and create really good stuff. It doesn't have the support, although Call of Duty is apparently a total mess. I'm sure Tim could come in here and rant about all the cheaters that are going on right now. But I think it's safe to say for Microsoft, this is an amazing acquisition in terms of money in your pocket.
That's what I was going to ask. So whenever there's like a big like sports team trade, the question is always, who won the trade?
Microsoft.
You think Microsoft won? So my question is like, is $69 billion a good price?
$69 billion is only possible because of all the controversy that Blizzard's in right now, I think. I think most people agree with this. Microsoft bought this at a discount.
Wow.
Because of how many issues they're having. Like it really did. And again, I don't want to get too deep into all the stuff that happened, but it is out there for everyone to read. There's a lot of really bad stuff that was going on in those companies. And I really hope they deal with that. And I hope Microsoft can do it better. Yeah. Because they make amazing games. Like I really, really love Blizzard stuff.
Yeah. I mean, it's definitely at that price, it has to be a long-term play. You're not going to make $50 billion next year and it makes up for itself. It's like, this is this company, Microsoft, committing itself in the next decade to gaming in a lot of ways with Xbox and with all the stuff they're building. So it kind of reminds me of like whenever we see Facebook buy a new game developer, it's like, yeah, they're willing to spend a lot of money to get ahead of all the money they think they're going to make when AR gaming becomes a big deal. So I think I see $69 billion. I'm like, well, okay, Microsoft clearly believes this is going to keep going.
I would even argue that like this is barely even a future move. The games they're taking right now are so big already. Call of Duty. It's like the amount of money you can make off Call of Duty is absolutely crazy.
I have no idea.
Candy Crush is nuts.
Candy Crush probably makes a couple $1 billion.
Probably. And then the funny thing is the Blizzard games are like almost all of them are due for like some sort of refresh. I mean, Overwatch 2 has been hyped for a while, still isn't out yet. StarCraft 2 was made in 2010, whereas StarCraft 3, like
they're gonna be fine.
Yeah, they'll be totally fine. Yeah, what are the numbers?
Candy Crush revenue in 2021. Hold on, let me find an accurate number because
supposedly Call of Duty in November of 2021 made 30.37 million just in November.
Just in November, which is like that's a lot. If you multiply that out, if you take that as an average for 12 months, that's 300-400 million, which is not a lot compared to $70 billion.
It's not very much.
Yeah, and apparently Candy Crush generated $1.19 billion in 2020.
That's wild. Call of Duty also, that November number is like from a game that's out already. Like that's not including like release date of things. So like there'll be huge spikes when you're paying full price for a new game. And they churn those out. So
Dang.
yeah, I think this is an insane win for Microsoft and a semi-worrying thing for gamers in general.
God, they make so much money. Candy Crush had 857 million in profit in 2020. Jesus. All right. Well, you know what? I think you won, Microsoft.
Yeah.
I think you made the right call.
Thanks so much for watching the clip this week. You should probably leave a like because if we get enough likes, Microsoft might buy us for $70 billion.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Right? That's easy. It's easy money. We'll
Deal.
send you $10 if you like it and we get acquired for $70 billion.
Yeah, the only way we know how many likes that takes is if we just
keep going to the moon.
I like the idea.
Cool. Easy.
Let's do it.
Thanks.